Welcome to the Awaken the Awesome podcast with your host, Olivier Day. This is Awaken the Awesome, a podcast where we acknowledge that we are all in this together. Through enlightening conversations and personal insights, we like to engage with individuals just like you who show us how they are bringing a little bit of awesomeness along their individual journeys. Our hope is to inspire you to always keep pushing and to stay awesome along the way. Entrepreneurship has its ups and downs, and among the latter is the isolation. The fact that you put in so many insane hours can get maddening at times. So when someone out there in the universe drops a comment, sends a DM, an email, or shares a review, believe me, a guy is quite appreciative. This is, in a nutshell, how I met and got to connect with my next guest, Erika Darbouze, and felt quite taken with her journey, both as an entrepreneur and business owner. You guys probably think I'm joking when I tell you this, but I truly do read all of your comments. And it's throughout our various exchanges when I came to embrace a fellow achiever's awesome journey as something that I personally considered near and dear to my heart that I thought, why not have her on the podcast as well? Erika is the founder and CEO of Haiti's Corner, a B2B Export Marketing Firm whose mission is aimed at introducing and promoting the Haitian culture to the world through its impressive catalog of brands and various products. As you'll soon discover, Erika is a definite and powerful example of how one can align skill, training, resourcefulness, and dedication to a righteous and noble cause. On this empowering episode, we discuss the importance of not watering down one's heritage, personal truth, dedication to the bigger picture, and how mindset is the keystone of success. When you find yourself in the fortunate position to walk a path of genuine purpose and truth, you're already ahead of the pack. So let's get into this. Awaken the Awesome, episode 111 with Erika Darbouze. Here we go. As always, I know I'm repeating myself, but first of all, thank you for being here because it means a lot to me to be able to connect with like-minded individuals who share not only some wonderful content, but also who promote that wonderful energy of just greater service and kindness and just heartfelt honesty in regards to what they do. And, first of all, with all your wonderful support on Instagram, which has been invaluable, just people think I don't read the comments. I genuinely do. Maybe I don't reply as much as I should by the time I'll get a virtual assistant, maybe. But so far, it really means a lot. There are people who do stand out in regards to how we interact. And I welcome this wonderful world that we live in right now where the wonderful world of technology allows us to actually have these relationships, if you will, virtual at least, to be able to connect with people who, again, are totally and so generous and, welcoming our work and the work that we do. You don't think that what you do in the world matters until someone hits you back on an iTunes comment or just a like or just like resharing your post. And Erika has definitely been one of those persons. So really, like, out of the blue, I just want to say thank you for all the invaluable support. I know there are a lot of people out there who say, yeah, but I support you. But right now, hey,
it's my time.
No jealousy infighting right now. But first of all, I really want to recognize and acknowledge you for all the wonderful support because truthfully, it really means a lot. So first of all, thank you for all the support. And again, thank you for thank you for accepting the invitation to be on the podcast. Erika, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Olivier, for having me. Like I told you, it's an honor to be on a platform where so much great minds have preceded me, and and it's I love the work that you do. I think it's inspiring. I think that giving people a platform to shed light on their work, and it's just like so conversational. It's just so genuine, so authentic. That's what drew me to the platform. So that's how I became a listener. And I can't believe that today I'm actually, sharing this space with you. So that's awesome. Thank you.
It's how the universe works, man. Energy attracts energy. And really,
that's right.
It's an amazing feeling, when you understand that no matter where we are, near or far, you can always connect with someone on a deeper level. And you understand that once we open our minds, we open our hearts and open our thoughts, realize that we can connect on so many levels. And it's a very precious thing, very precious thing. But out of the gate, man, we're going to start. Normally, like I said, all these conversations are really informal. And as always, like I said, I love your page. First of all, because it always brings me home. It really brings me home because of everything that's on there. And, from the articles and the interviews that you've been, we're definitely going to get into all your work and everything. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm really going to throw you a loop for one. What's the nearest and most fondest memory you have of back home, back in Haiti? Just off the beaten path. Like, what are you thinking about right now? If I tell you Lakai, what does that bring up for you?
It brings me back to the countryside with my family. And that's a question that I had to answer recently. So it's so vivid to me because I've been reliving that moment. Back home, I used to I was fortunate enough to have a lot of vacation time outside of the capital with my parents. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of my fondest memory. We went to, it's a little town, Torbec. It's right next
Mm-hmm.
to the Lekai,
Mm-hmm.
and that's where my dad is from. So he took us, me and my sisters, and alongside with my aunt, uncle, and their two sons. And we went for a family vacation there. And the first night that we were there, we actually spent the whole night. And I think that was my first time ever sleeping under the stars. And
Wow.
I've never seen a sky with so much like stars. I remember like really there was a lot of shooting stars because it's the countryside, so you have
Mm-hmm.
less pollution, less lights, so that means you see the stars shining bright at night. And that's fairy tale. I mean, you had to live it. It's just beautiful. It's just so gorgeous.
Does that
That's
ever hit
yeah.
you, the simplicity, when you make the comparison of the detachment of being in North America, of being abroad, and you compare that to the simplicity of growing up, despite all the hardship and despite all the limitations, if you will, the stuff that, okay, that still needs to happen for like, a more evolved, I'm not going to call it evolve, but stuff that's still missing. Let's just talk about it. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you realize that living here, there's so much simplicity into how we grew up. You and
Yeah.
I are pretty much the same generation, and sometimes
Yeah.
don't you miss that sometimes?
Definitely, definitely, most definitely. I feel like it's not only it's missed, but I feel like the quality of life. I feel like there was a profoundness to things, if that's a word, because you got the chance to enjoy the realness. Like those moments, I feel like are so much more precious because nowadays, because of technology and the advancement, don't get me wrong, it's a good thing, but it also robs us of a lot of those moments because we get distracted with, the phones, for instance, because back then we didn't have cell phones.
No, we
And
didn't.
me
No,
and
we didn't.
my sisters and my cousins, we were all teenagers at nowadays they have cell phones, so it could have been the same thing if you want, but nowadays, and it probably would have been a totally different experience, meaning you probably would have missed the nature that's surrounding you because we would probably all be busy and I don't know what's it called, TikTok, or or Instagram. We would probably be lost in our phone and missing the beauty of things that were happening right there in front of us. So yeah, it's not just the difference in space, like in geographically, but it's also the differences and generation. Nowadays things we're so bombarded that we're missing the beauty of those details. So yeah.
You talked about your piece, the recent piece you did with Voyage MIA, and again, I'm totally going to get into it, and obviously you can just skip over the question if you want. But you were there when the earthquake happened.
I was still living in Haiti at the time of the earthquake, and that's actually how I ended up transitioning and having this whole life change and moving to Florida.
No kidding, just like that.
Yeah.
And to this day, it's still okay. Right now, we're at the 10th year anniversary. It's already been 10 years, man.
It's
And
been 10 years.
I wasn't there, but my sister was. My parents were, and I didn't lose it. I lost a couple of friends, obviously, but no immediate family, thank God. But to this day, even at the 10th anniversary, I'm still thinking about how whatever you want to say about our inherent nature, our inherent resilience as a culture and as a people, even that we still manage to overcome. We still manage to get over. And what do you think that says about, the spirit of courage and empowerment that is really at our core? Isn't that a
Gosh,
beautiful thing?
it is. It is. It's so strong. I mean, and it only makes sense that we were, I know it's overused because we say it and we have not much to show for it, but it makes sense that we were the first Black nation to be, to freed from slavery, it makes sense, because I think that's something that we really have in our core. Like you said, I think that we have so much strength inside of us. We have so much more than what we're seeing, and that's the downside that pains me, because I know our strength. I know what we have to give, and not just our strength, but our beauty, the work of our hand, like, everything, like not just our resilience fast, like against adversity, but also the greatness that we get to create. We're not, I always say that to people, even when I talk to, especially when I talk to, like other countries, like other nations, like you should see me when I was in college. I was this kid, I swear. I was waving my Haitian flag, and, with a lot of pride. And that's the key word. Like we're such a prideful people, nation. We love, that, we're from Haiti, and nobody can take this away from us. And we love that, we're from this land that has so much to give, so
It's
I
a
always
beautiful
say
thing because
Haiti's not
it's
simple. Yeah.
it's complicated because it's a beautiful thing. And I think I welcome the fact that I'm not sure if you're observing this in your circles, but I'm realizing right now this current generation is taking a lot more ownership of where it comes from. And the Haitian identity is no longer being, stuffed down or code switched, if you will, because there was a really long period where you wouldn't, be so quick to say, like, yeah, I'm from Haiti.
That's true.
But
That's true.
right now, I am seeing a little bit more audacity and ownership into promoting our people, into promoting our culture, into promoting, what makes us great, aside from just the music and like, hey, come on, tourism. There's so much more, going on right now. And I'm welcoming, like you said, the technology that's allowing us to promote that even to a greater scale. And in a bigger sense, that's why also I'm gravitating, and I wanted to have this conversation with you, because Haiti's Corner, for me at least, is what that represents. And let me just put that into perspective. Growing up, my mother had a friend of hers, Jean, let's just call him Jean. And Jean specialized in metal fabrication. And you know what I'm talking about. When you grow up, like, the farmers or like the ox or like, just the animals, everything. Jean specialized in metal fabrication. But what he would do from time to time, every week or so, every 2 weeks or so, he would sell a couple of pieces to my mom, and my mom would go to her friends who owned some stores, some artifact stores, and she would sell it to them. So she would actually promote Jean's stuff. So on a greater scale and to a bigger audience, I believe, is what that Haiti's Corner is about. Or am I totally off the beaten path here? Like, did I totally miss it?
You are right on the money. That's right. That's exactly it. And at the difference also that your mom, the people that, let's say she's marketing Jean to, these are different countries.
Okay. Because that's what I believe, you're set yourself up for a greater mission. I really want to talk about that journey because, first of all, it is a terrific mission to give yourself, to actually, promote us through a greater avenue and to a bigger scale, because it has to start from somewhere, and it has to start with a powerful message that we are more than just what we see on CNN. So I'm really curious, where did that idea germinate from?
Well, it was college days straight, because I grew up in Haiti, and I didn't leave Haiti until I was a young adult. So, and I think that was a great thing, because I was mature enough to, be attached and understand the reality, of things. So when I came here, I wasn't Americanized. I wasn't young enough to be Americanized. So I was really grounded in my roots, So when I moved here, I attended college, and reality hit, because, well, not only did I come in a time of turmoil, of course, it was just the earthquake. So Haiti was the center of attention. You automatically, they know that you're from Haiti. People were, having the sympathy look, and they almost like want to ask you if everything's okay. They want to hug you. They want to care for you. So people had our ear. They were, and a lot of them, surprisingly, in Florida, they were just discovering what Haiti was. Like, oh, really? I didn't even know. But Haiti, because of the earthquake, ended up becoming in a map, not in a positive way, but, and for me, I'm in a different country for the first time. I'm leaving far away from home, and I'm realizing what people thought of Haiti. I'm making friends that are not Haitian.
Okay.
And they telling me, oh, hey, do you have a TV back home? And I'm like, what? Like the weirdest comments, like, how is it? Do you guys have streets? Where do you sleep? And I've really had those questions, and I had to not be offended and understand that it was truly just ignorance, and that people did not know Haiti for what they got from the media. And so therefore it was just like, what is the media feeding those people? Like, what did they think? Like, what do they think? Like that we're peasant, that we live in trees and we eat,
so true.
And I was shocked, really and truly, and the thing is, it's Florida. So that means it's close to Haiti. It's an hour away from Haiti. It's a melting pot. There's a lot of Haitian. And I still encountered that. So let alone for other places that are way further from, Haiti. And I realized that people are known. I mean, Haiti is known for very few things. Poverty, that's it, really. I can't even think about anything else. When they think Haiti, that's the one thing that comes in mind is poverty. That hurts, because. And
I was going to ask, how does that make you feel?
It wasn't good. Like, you don't want to be represented that way, especially the fact, like I said, I came here and I was a young adult. So I'm a prideful Haitian, and I was fortunate enough to have gone to good school. So I had a good education, thankfully, and for me I had a lot to give. And people were a little bit surprised as well from how I was expressing myself. They were, you really from Haiti? And the other thing also is, because I came from Haiti, I always have a lot of Haitian items with me. So I always had my jewelry was from Haiti, my bracelets, my sandals, my shirt would literally say something about Haiti most of the time, and I was repping, not consciously really. It's just that was my style. That's always been my style. I love those items. I love the stuff that we make. I love our culture or the product of our hands. I love it. So I rock it, not knowing that there's always someone watching. And before I realized, people would literally stop me down. Like, I like your necklace. That's nice. Where'd you get it? I like your jewelry. I like this. I like that. And I would often, whether I was in college or in the store, and I mean, I've literally, when I tell you it was a lot of time, like, I'll be under a red light and you'll see somebody knock me, like a girl from her wing, in the next car, literally like, I like your earrings. And I'm like, thank you. It's from Haiti.
Nice.
And I've never missed a chance to let them know where it was from, because I felt that you think that it's all we're known for is poverty. So that was my chance to say that, no, there's much more to Haiti than poverty. We make things, and beautiful things. So I think that's really where it all started.
Doesn't that teach you a lot about having the patience? And you're free to open up on it if you want. Doesn't that teach you a lot? Because I've also had those relationships, those conversations, those uncomfortable exchanges where you have to actually look across the table from you and have the patience and the humility. And like I was telling in the beginning, the open heart to have that conversation about, ignorance and understanding the other person's perspective. And I was wondering if that taught you a little bit about, having the patience and, the wisdom to open up the dialogue and not just blame the person for not knowing. It's like, okay, what is your problem? What did that teach you in the process of just like opening up to that?
Yes, you're right. I wasn't always, I'll be honest. I have to stay transparent. And it was a learning process. Because in the beginning, when I first moved, I was much more offended by them. Because, than I am now. Now I have the wisdom and the humility that you speak of. And I understand and I take the time, because not only with the work that I'm doing, to educate. And I say, you know what, that's false. This is what it is. But before, especially, younger, with the pride and all of those emotions, you really, when you hear some comments, like I remember I was in an English class and this girl said, "You guys have TV?" And I was like,
Yeesh.
really? And I wasn't really, it was not exactly a wise answer. But there was a lot of growth that happened since then. I made sure to let them know the truth, but it wasn't always with, but it's through communication, and it's through having friends that were not Haitian that the passion came, because there were people that I befriended that were not Haitian that were asking me questions like that. And I realized that they were not seeing it to hurt me, but I realized that they genuinely did not know, and they care, and these are my friends. So they love me and they care for me. So what reason would they have to say things, in regards to Haiti that, or, not true, just to, hurt me? No, they really did not know. So
Right.
by being
So
patient with them,
ignorance, also not, so we don't blame them for not knowing. When we say ignorance, we don't mean that to be condescending. We mean
no,
ignorant because you just don't know and
don't
you
know.
trying to learn. Okay.
Yes, you don't know. And the good thing is a lot of them were, curious enough to know, and that was my opening.
Wonderful. So we could have gone a bunch of different ways, because again, we're like, again, what do you know about Haiti? Okay, we know the poverty. Okay, we know that there's political instability. There's a lot of political turmoil and international relations stuff, and national debt with everything. And we have obviously the music, the carnivals, and the tourism. Okay, but where are we going with this? We're going with, crafts. We're going with jewelry. We're going with handbags and head wraps. And, I was wondering, like, okay, I'm going to try to make a marketing firm about all this. Like, I'm really wondering what were the building blocks leading up to that, man? Because I'm pretty sure it wasn't easy. Walk us through that.
Well, I was a marketing student. So
Okay. That helps.
yes, it was tremendously. So that made everything simple. I really was studying. So I'm in my field. I remember being in college, and I was really trying to see, okay, so what's next, because you're in college, and the point of college is to, work on eventually make a career out of what you're, of course, otherwise what's the point of that you're learning. And for me, I always in mind at the time, it was clear that I'm going back home. I am definitely going back home. I'm only here temporarily, get my education and go back home. That was the plan. My parents were back home. They're still back home. I have no desire to stay in this land. And therefore, I need to have an idea, a game plan of how I'm going to utilize my education and going to Haiti, But my thing was, regardless of what it is that I knew that whatever I was studying, before even going into marketing, I knew that whatever it was that I was going to do, I would have to tie it to Haiti. Like, it would have to be something that benefit Haiti. That was something that I'm saying, college, high school, before college. So that was something that was a given. So it means even if I was a lawyer, it would have been, something that benefit Haiti. If it was, whatever field I would have been in, it would have been something that some way, somehow, it would have to benefit Haiti, because I've always had that patriotism, since very, very young. And that was the reason why I actually chose to further my education after high school in Haiti. So I actually went to college in Haiti against my parents. Yes, against my parents, will. And
so you're really ride or die. Like you're all about it. See, this is a terrific example, guys, in terms of like seriously committing to your purpose and committing to your mission. I'm sorry I interrupted you, but I'm just applauding you on that one.
Thank you. And I remember after high school, my parents really, really wanted me to further my education. I go to college in France, like my older sister did, and then they were like, let's go to the States. And I was like, no, I am staying in Haiti. That was a for sure thing. If the earthquake hadn't happened, then that would have been a different story for me, because the earthquake is what caused me to make that shift. And I'm glad, because I see how I'm being used, and I see that all alone I was just being in purpose, but that's a different story. So back to, I'm in college, and my sister's coming to visit. We're in Macy's and we're shopping, and literally this older lady, this elder, she comes to us and she inquires about the sandals. And we are both having our dark sandals that we're proud to wear. These are Création Dorée, which is one of my clients. She makes those really beautiful handmade sandals, beaded with scars, and it's very artsy. It's colorful, so it's really an eye stopper, you know. And so we're in Macy's. That lady comes. She's Caucasian. She's older. I'm talking maybe 7 years old, 7 years old. And she's asking us about her sandals. So for me, it's like two things come in mind. How are you interested in my stuff? Not only culture wise, but age wise. You know, these sandals are like younger. You know, it's just not the market that I would envision for those sandals
You
at
never know how your
all.
product impacts the public, right? You just never know. And that's your
Exactly.
statement right there. That's your test subject right there.
Yes. And that's where the light bulb happened, because the wonderment in her eyes at that moment were unbelievable. Like, she was like, really, oh my God, this is so beautiful. Which aisle is this? Me and
Oh,
my
wow.
sister
Okay.
started laughing because she thought that we bought it at Macy's. So we had to explain to her that no, these are not here. We came with those sandals. These are ours. They're actually made in Haiti. And we were talking, making conversation, and kind of find out this old lady was with a bunch of old lady with her. They were friends. They were shopping, and she called all her friends to gather up and admire our sandals. so
Oh,
so it
wow.
was, so we have like a bunch of old lady looking at our sandals that they want to buy from Haiti. And the light bulb turned on right there. And the light bulb was, there's a demand. We have a demand for our items. And I couldn't sleep. That light bulb turned on, and it didn't matter how much I tried to turn it off, and it wouldn't turn off. I had to do something. You know, so I was already in marketing. I was already learning the courses. So now every time I was in class and they were teaching us, let's say, product evaluation, I was in my mind and visualizing it for that. So I contacted Stephanie Doué, one of the Création Dorée owner. They're two owners, Sarah Magouin and Stephanie Deltique. She's a designer of Création Dorée, and I told her my experience. And I said, listen, this is what happened, and that was amazing. You know, I was really excited. I had so much passion. I was like, oh my God, you have a demand in the state. Did you know people would buy this? I mean, if this was in Macy's, they would really buy it.
They would really buy it if it wasn't Macy's.
Yes. And you know, and I was like, we have to do something. And she said, yeah, you know what, here's my business card. Next time you go to Haiti, take my business cards, let them know that they can order from Haiti. I said, okay. But more than that, I was like, no, it's not enough. It has to be on the shelf, because for somebody to order from you, they have to know that you exist.
Right.
And the thing is, they don't know Haiti for that. So they won't know to look for that. The only way that you have to do it, you have to make it accessible to where they go. So where do those people shop? Where do they go and make those items available where they are? So that's kind of like, that's where, you know, I started thinking and ideas started coming, and it was just a matter of applying it, really. But
just hearing you talk about it, what we're seeing is that you identified a need. You clearly had a proof of concept. I'm sorry, that's what I was looking for. You clearly had a proof of concept. And what happened, rather than just like think about all the problems, you basically reverse engineered the entire process. Like, okay, for them to have it, this is what needs to be in place. And then you worked your way from there. So what does that say about the entrepreneurial mindset? And for all of us, and for those of our listeners who basically are having that idea, like you said, that light bulb, this will never work. What would you tell them? Like, you know, a few stepping stones towards that next level. What can we give them as tips?
They have the light bulb that's open, and you have an idea that you want to accomplish. Really, I feel like for me, it's stating, because the focus had to be on my goal, the end result. And like you said, it was it was definitely reverse engineered, because I was focusing on the goal. So what is your goal? So meaning, it's kind of like what I'm going to say. It's funny. I had a conversation about that the other day, but sometimes it's good to start at the end, you know, because you're trying to work your way from the beginning. But sometimes it's good to work your way at the end. So for me, the end result was, I want those Caucasian ladies, next time they go, to have access to those. I want other culture to be able to buy those items in the stores that they shop, that they already shop, So that's the end result. That's the goal. So from there, since I already know what my goal is, now I can identify the different les pions, the different okay, so I know that the product has to be there. So who's in charge of the product? Okay, these are the manufacturers. Where are the manufacturers in Haiti? Who are those people? Okay, now I need to make a list of manufacturers that make production in Haiti that I can contact and explain to them the vision, and who would say no to expand their sales overseas, and what else, and when I'm looking again at the final result, because the final result is those items and store overseas. So I identified one player. One player is the manufacturers. What was the other player? The store. Okay, so who's the store? Okay, these are people that already have stores and overseas. It could be in the States. It could be in Canada. It could be in France. And they have a clientele that is not you and me, so they're not Haitian. And they would be able to have, so those stores, who are they? The distributors, how do I have access to them? So that's player two. What's the third player? The player of the people that are buying, so it was really having the end goal. So I feel like my advice would be, when you have a light bulb, it's because you have a picture. Hold on to that picture. Analyze that picture,
Nice.
And
You brought up
identify it.
so many details in terms of the entire production line and the entire process from concept all the way to execution. And where a lot of people, I know this from all the conversations you have, and there's a lot of people who unfortunately are roadblocked by their own internal dialogue. This will never work. This will never work. Why in the world would they carry my product? Why in the world would they decide to actually, collaborate with me in trying to promote Haitian sandals? What would you tell them? Because I'm sure that it wasn't all peasy and all roses for you.
Yeah.
You probably had, to deal with some backlash, and I'm sorry, backlash, but some roadblocks. Let's call them roadblocks. And I'm wondering what the experience was like, and if you can actually teach us a few things.
Well, the first thing I would say, and is they're right if they say that it'll never amount, because there's one thing that I've learned. If you say, whether you say you're right or you're wrong, like whether you said you will make it or you won't make it, you're right. I know you've heard that before. So what I mean is, what you tell yourself is what will come to pass. So you have a choice to make. If you want it to come to pass, then be careful of what you're saying. Be careful of what you're thinking. Because if you have that light bulb and you have a desire, you have a dream, you have something that you want to see happen, you have to be your cheerleader. You have to be your own cheerleader. You can't, be the one to, because if you fall into, thinking less of it, then nothing is going to come out of it, And my thing is, it's a mindset thing. It's really mindset. There's nothing that we are ever going to hear that has not been said under the sky. I really feel that. I think that, no matter how beautiful the word of wisdom, it's been said before, things come, the magic happen in the application. It's kind of like what they say. If you want to see things differently, you have to do something that you've never done. That's because that's application right there. For me, things start happening when we apply ourselves. And it's really in the details. And it doesn't mean that you will be able to make it happen one day at a time. For me, starting Haiti's Corner was not even about Haiti's Corner. It was about me. It was that I had to get my mindset ready to create that. Because the light bulb opened, mind you, and Haiti's Corner is to the light of day, maybe 3-4 years later? So it wasn't instant. So I get it. And I did have those fear too. Because listen, society really, I feel nowadays is not going to help you, and to go ahead, be an entrepreneur and do it. It's gonna, it's easier for you to fall in the trap of, okay, be comfortable in a 9-to-5. You have a guarantee of a check, quote unquote guarantee, that's coming right there. You can make that route, and that's going to be it. Or you can decide, okay, if that's really something that's keeping you up at night, you owe it to yourself to go for it. But going for it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to start applying yourself towards that goal right there and then. It might be that you're applying yourself to your own self. Because for me, like I was saying, it took me 3 years, I want to say, from the moment that the light bulb turned on to actually launching, or to actually, I want to say launching the business. And throughout the 3 years, there was battling. There was thinking, like you said, that, it's why bother? Not that I ever doubted in the product or that, the success of it. I had faith. I knew. I've never once think that our items or product could not reach the stars. Because I really, like I said, I have so much passion and faith in the work of our hands. But my thing was the work that you have to put into it. When you're thinking, oh my God, it's not easy to be your own boss. It's not easy to do the work, the creation, the sitting down, the writing the plan, the contacting the stores, the contacting the distributor, like all the different things, plus the back end of the business, the invoices, the transportation. Oh my God, there's exportation laws. All of that takes work. And you're not necessarily going to want to do the work, and you might feel comfortable just, why do that? But my thing is,
why do that to yourself?
Exactly. So when you feel in a place where you're like that, what you need to do first, I feel, from my perspective, is you have to build your mind. You work on your mind first, because it's a mindset thing. So that means before you start, it's kind of like, if you think about it, like an athlete, yes, before they work out, it's true, but their mindset has to be right? So you do whatever you have to do. And what I mean by getting your mindset right, I'm talking about getting connected with the right people, being in the right group, reading the right books, listening to the right podcast. It means whatever you have to do to be in a mindset where you get hungry.
It is so powerful to hear you talk about the importance of the mindset. And yes, it does go around the meme that says, whatever you believe, you're right, because it's true. Whatever you tell yourself, I'm going to fall. I'm going to fall off my bike. I'm not going to make that basket. I'm not going to make that sale. I'm not going to get that girl. I'm not going to get that promotion. If you start out the gate saying that you're going to fail, you are setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah. Your words
I say this
you.
all the time. I sell that all the time. I say this to my kids. I say this to everybody under the sun. I'm like, words have weight. Words have power. So be very careful what you say. Be very careful what you say. Even as I like to say in Creole, it's pas jamais en blague. Pas fait blague.
Yes.
Be very serious about what you're saying. Speak with intent.
Yes.
And that, because you're talking about, how the emotional journey, because that's something that's really coming across your words in a very powerful and sincere way. It's a very truly heartfelt mission. And I was wondering when your baby was born, let's just call it as is, so, because basically Haiti's Corner has been officially, let's just call it launched, says how long now?
3 years.
3 years.
It's been 2016.
Flies,
yes.
And just looking at this journey so far, because we still have a lot of place to grow. We still have a lot of, just a place to learn. And again, talking about, the issues that some people will have, the reservations. Yes, because I want people to take lessons from you, because it's a very beautiful journey about, first of all, growth and taking chances. What would you tell them regarding the aspect of, the fear of perfection? What I mean by that is that sometimes people wait way too long. The fear of launching. This is not ready, and it's not quite ready. The logo's not right. The website's not right.
God.
The shipping's not right. Or this place is not right. Or the tabs, or like the fonts on the website.
Yes.
When all that noise is going on in your head, how do you just start? What would you tell people?
God, Nike the heck out of it. Just do it. Just do it. Nothing is ever going to be perfected. That when you described everything and hearing you talk, I was like, oh my gosh, that was me. I don't know if it was you too, if you had that.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if it's just me. I don't know if it's every entrepreneur that faced the feeling of, I'm not ready enough yet. That you want to perfect. And I know I'm a perfectionist. So that's even worse, so I was there. Because again, like I said, 3 years, people, 3 years. It took me a lunch. So imagine, and what we don't know is that there are people that are waiting 50 years. And guess what? they pass them by. I've even had friends that'll tell me, I've waited, and I've heard somebody else launch this thing that I always wanted to do. So one thing is you will never feel ready, and that's a good thing. And what I mean by that is that the fact that you don't feel that it's perfect will allow you to better it. It automatically, that I'm not just doing something that's perfect and you're going to be done. No, you just got to do it because it's never going to be perfect, and be okay with that. Because know that it only means that there is room for growth, and there will always be room for growth. So be comfortable with just walking. Start right where you are. Just start. I don't care. Like, oh, but the logo's not, I don't care. Just start. No matter how undone it may look, no matter how, unperfected, because the thing is, once you start walking, I promise you, I kid you not, that is such a bold faith move that you make. The universe is really going to conspire to open the doors that needs to open for you to even, for the right things to fall into place. But you have to take that step.
In the same place, nothing happens from standing still.
Exactly.
Nothing happens from standing still. And that's what I'm getting from you, because, just from the truly heartfelt journey that you're talking about, there's a lot of personal truth that goes in terms of taking a chance, just believing in what you're doing. And again, you know what? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Might as well. Okay. It's like, it's a bold move, as you said, but that's a beautiful thing. And that's something that I'm really trying to promote with this platform in regards to, I feel that there's a lot of people in this noisy doubt and uncertainty right now with their lives, not just in regards to their 9 to 5, but regarding relationships, in regards to all the greater things that they want to do, because I believe there's so much greatness into everyone. And I believe that in this world, there are so many examples. And that's one thing I'm trying to, promote again with all these connections and conversations that we're having in regards to, again, we're not that different. Everybody wants to serve. And, in that sense, it's not just about running a business. It's not just about being an entrepreneur, but to the greater good of the thing. And that, for me, that's where it really pulls at my heartstrings in regards to, what, you're doing your little part to allow the country, to allow our culture, to allow our people to have yet another voice, because a rising tide lifts all ships. Oh my God, I'm losing my words. Rising tide lifts all ships. It really takes a very special kind of collaboration, not just from our generation, but the ones that are going to follow, whether not just in North America, but abroad in Europe, everywhere, because Haitians are pretty much everywhere. My sister studied in Seoul, Korea, and there are Haitians in Seoul, Korea.
Wow. Right? Yes.
And we need to have a different dialogue. We need to have a different mentality. And I wasn't intending to make this all fall like, just, hey, l'union fait la force, but it's a real important conversation to have, because I believe that's what you're doing with Haiti's Corner, is allowing us to actually share another purpose, another image of ourselves beyond what the modern media is trying to just constantly bury down the subconscious of, the greater masses. And that's a wonderful thing you're doing. So when you go to bed at night, when you're seeing that and seeing all the work and the impact is going to, because there's so much place to grow. But do you think about the gens back home who are benefiting from your project? How does that make you feel?
Oh gosh, every day. Yes, I do. Definitely do. And if anything, that's a driving, it's more than that. It's a motivation, but I feel like motivation is not a strong enough word, because I know that, like, I visited workshop of some clients. So I've seen some of them, they'll send me the pictures of their workshop. So I've seen the people working, and and I know that it really has a direct impact, that work, because every store that orders from a client from Haiti's production, that allows those workers to work and feed their kids. And the more orders will only mean that they're going to have to expand. And expansion means that they're going to have to hire more hands, which means in a country where there's so much, chômage, uh, you're allowing people to get back to the workforce, and that's so needed, and like I know that the country right now is facing a lot of turmoil, and I know it's things have been extremely chaotic, and I feel like because of that we need this even more. So for me, going at night, it's the fact that we are living in those times, and I'm thinking about that. It's motivating me to push on through even more, because we need that. Because when you're thinking about, and that's something I'm always saying, is when you're thinking about all the great countries that, like, you're thinking about the US, China, like countries that are les puissances, les puissances, les grandes
The
puissances,
superpowers.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. When you're thinking about them, they're superpowers because of their production, because of the fact that they're able to produce and they're able to have other countries consume that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're thinking, I don't know, Italy, you're thinking the fast cars that, when you're thinking about, France, you're thinking about expensive perfume, you're thinking about,
Cheese.
this cheese. Yes. I mean, whatever the country, when you're thinking about a country, thinking about them for their production. And that's because they've been able to successfully sell. I mean, at the end of the day, it's that what you have, you sell, other countries buy from you, which allows money to come in the country. I mean, that's, so when you're thinking Haiti, on your too. So everything comes from, I mean, even water comes from,
We
other
have to
countries.
import water, even.
So
We're at
we
that
import,
point.
yes. So it's, that means that money is getting out. And mind you, a country that's poor, another for the country to get rich, of course, money has to come in. Money is getting out for everything. That means we're buying because we're sustainable only, but I mean, we're not sustainable because we're taking everything, we're outsourcing everything. So what I'm trying to do is that reverse thing. I'm like, we have workers, what's our riches? What do you have that you can sell? Okay, you have coffee, because at one point in time we were the best coffee, like exportateur de café. What else do we have? We have oh my god, artisanat. Okay, you have the product, the work of your hands, you have or arts, you have or crafts, we have, and that's the mindset that we should have. So that's why Haiti's Corner really doesn't, I don't limit myself to one industry, which is just the arts and craft. I just so happened that when I've launched, my clients were in that industry, but I have other clients that are in other industries like liquors and other stuff that come to me and they want to have the service. I work with them because at the end of the day, it's whatever Haitian made, whatever production that's from Haiti. The goal is to do exactly that. Get it overseas, do that reverse, what the other country are doing that allows them to be the grande puissance. That's the same, if you want, formula that we need to apply in order to get ourselves sustainable, is to be able to, okay, what are we good at, and make sure that we produce more of that, sell it, and get money in the country, create more work for our people. And so yes, this very picture of the people that I know the impact of it, that's my motivation. And I tell people a lot of time that, yeah, they see this corner just, okay, I'm advertising this, but there's so much more to it, and I'm talking about the impact of it. There's so much more to it.
It's a wonderful, wonderful mission. It's a wonderful mission because I'm seeing, like you talk about, all the industries. And again, it's something that's very basic. You think about the person that made those handbags, the person that, that wove those sandals together, the person that made those drawings or whatever, those person who brewed those liquors. There's so many people. And we know those faces because we've crossed them growing up on the streets, and we know they're just doing their best to actually make an honest living and actually promote some truly wonderful, wonderful, unique work, because you can't pretty much find that anywhere aside from Haiti.
Yeah.
It's very something to actually be very proud of. And when I say pride, I do not mean that in any condescending way, but pride is something to basically embrace, because, Italians are going to celebrate themselves, Spanish people are going to celebrate themselves, Chinese people are going to celebrate themselves, Dominicans celebrate themselves, Haitians also can celebrate themselves. And
Themselves.
that's a wonderful, wonderful mission to be on. But I'm curious, again, not to put you on the spot, but next 5 years, 10 years, what's Haiti? What's in the store for Haiti's Corner down the road of the universe?
Oh gosh. Okay. 5 years. So basically,
or
Haiti's
next week.
Corner.
Well, doesn't matter.
I mean, I don't mind a little things things to go fast. I mean, it's really, I have a lot of friends. I have so much in stores for Haiti's Corner that I get really, it's like a kid that it gets excited. But so these are not just dreams. These are plans, concrete stuff that I want to see happen. And I've learned to speak with faith and knowing that, like I said earlier, my words precedes me. Therefore, I'm going to let that out. Definitely, I want to see the quarters of Haiti's Corner, meaning right now, I'm basically working, from the States and everything. And what I want to be able to have is have like a concrete team where we have our offices in Haiti, where I can work directly with my clients. And what it looked like is basically I would have more services that I'll be able to provide. So that means the product evaluation would be done in-house. And when you have a company in Haiti, regardless of their industry, whether they're doing, like a new brand of ketchup, like Famosa, which is, something that I think I would love to have as a client, although I've heard we sold it to the DR, but Famosa,
I believe it got sold.
Yeah, which is such a shame because that's something that was ours, that was our recipe. It was, I don't like ketchup. I can only eat Famosa. And so let's just have them as an example. You have a company like that would come in-house and they want to expand their sales to foreign markets. Then we'd have to do the product evaluation right in-house, and where I would have everything established, where we can not only help with the product evaluation, the price evaluation, do all the steps that I'm doing right now, to get them ready for exportation and explain them to them, but to have the quarters of Haiti's Corner would mean that I would be able to work closer with my clients because, because right now I'm in the States and my clients are in Haiti. So that distance sometimes, first of all, a lot of time they get confused. They think that I have a store that,
right.
And I'll have people contact me and say, hey, is it a store that you have? It doesn't matter how much I write it everywhere. People don't read. People just don't read, And so I feel like it would not only allow me to be closer to the client, to work better, do more, and I'll be able to add much more services that I want to add in-house. And because it's a marketing firm, there's a lot of services that I have in mind I want to be able to put. So 5 years from now, the quarters are established. We're working closely with our client. Of course, I also have a presence in the States where we're doing the dispatching. So what it looks like is we'll have like a storage, where we can get all the supply already here. That way it's
an
easier.
Actual warehouse.
Yes, that will be easier for the dispatching, because one thing is true is that when a store, and I'm talking about like stores, these wholesale orders, not just one item, when they hear that it's being shipped from overseas, they usually have kind of like a it's because they thinking time, they thinking, it's usually more a hectic thing versus if they know that it's made in Haiti but shipped from the US, it creates the ease of mind and the mind of the clients, and the stores owners. So that would allow us not only to get much more orders, be able to respond to orders faster and stuff like that. So and the
allows for credibility as well, somewhat of
Yes, definitely. And the other thing is, I don't see, like I always told myself, the U.S. is one place. I mean, and the U.S. is 50 states, but I want to see our items in stores and countries that you don't see Haitian. I mean, I know we said Haitians are everywhere, but where it's not prominent, and therefore you would literally see, or I don't know, a store in a place like like an Irish country inside, and we have our items being,
Let's shoot for
sold at a
Korea.
store
I want
there.
to see
Yes.
sandals in Korea.
Yes, and that would be great, because what happens then is that those people are being introduced to the Haitian culture by the products, just by having that interaction with the products. They may not know Haitian or know where Haiti is, but they're walking those sandals, and that's what I want to see, or they're drinking that bourbon cool, or, it's kind of like Heineken, or, those beers, they're everywhere, so that's kind of what I want to see with prestige and everything that we make.
Amazing.
So,
see, it's you have to speak your own truth into the universe, and for a lot of people,
yes.
and I'm already hearing people rolling their eyes like, yeah, okay, you've got some large dreams. Well, yes you do.
Oh my gosh,
Your dreams
I
are
do,
supposed
and
to be
that's not
big.
even, and I've actually toned it down for the people. So
Your dreams are supposed to be big. I truly applaud you on that one, because you're supposed to
Thank
have large
you.
dreams and extraordinary expectation. And you speak with it with such intent. We talked about intention. We talked about verbalization. We talked about manifestation.
Yes.
You gave me all three, all wrapped up in a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful expectation of the next 5 years. And that is something
Yes.
really I'm tipping my hat off to you in regards to, again, this wonderful, I can't use a different word for it. It's a wonderful mission that you set for yourself. And it takes a lot of courage. It takes a lot of bravery, audacity to actually sit in your own conviction that, you know what, I'm going to make this happen. This is my own personal mission, my own personal journey, my own personal faith in regards to my own personal dream. And that's all it is. I'm not looking what you're doing. If we can align our missions, then fine. But I'm totally okay. I'm going to do what I need to do to make this happen, whether now, next week, or in the next 5 years. And in regards to that, I only want to celebrate you with this wonderful, wonderful path that you set for yourself with Haiti's Corner. It is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful package of service, of promotion of our people, our culture, showing Haiti under a different light, putting a different spotlight from a different angle than the ones we're actually used to. I say we because I've fallen into that rabbit hole in regards to it's like, Haitians always talking about like, probably, what do you have to show for it? Yes, there's a lot we have to show for it. I'm admitting to that because I've fallen into that trap in terms of like, we are supposed to be, again, holding up the light and holding up the flag really high to actually sing our own praises, because there's nobody there to do it for us. And we actually should.
True.
Yes. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And I want to thank you for that, because there are not many people, that needs to actually embrace that. And with this message that you set for yourself, I'm hoping people can take example that every little bit counts. We're all in this together,
That's right.
And I really want to thank you for that. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing you're doing.
Thank you so much, Olivier.
Speaking so much. I don't waste words. If you've been a fan of the podcast, I don't waste words.
That's true.
That's really precious for me. So
and
I really want to thank you
my heart
for this wonderful time. Wonderful time. We could be talking because I really learned a lot, whether in regards to, again, business and leadership and management, and, just trying to think about, goal setting and really setting your set straight, and, not overlooking the barriers, but actually addressing them, full on, there will be roadblocks and we need to learn along the way. So definitely these are a lot of tips, a lot of golden nuggets that we had here. But as a fan, where this last question is coming. A kind word, opening up the universe, addressing a kind thought, a quote, a sonnet, a song, a lyric, whatever, just the next step, a call to action that our listeners can take and wake up tomorrow, taking that next step towards the next level. What can we leave them with?
I have to go with something that I've been telling myself lately, and that's been my own reminder. I know a lot of people sometimes actually it's funny because it goes against something that I saw you write the other day on your Instagram.
You're allowed.
And, but it's I say faith and fear don't coexist.
Okay.
And, my thing is I've learned that I have to, because when you think about it, when you have faith in something, that's because you believe you can do it. And that's an absence of fear, because fear is the opposite. It tells you that you can't do it. Faith tells you you can do it. So, thinking about it is whatever you tell yourself is going to be the truth. So choose to have faith in yourself. Choose to have faith in what you're doing. Because once you have that, there is nothing, absolutely nothing that can stop you. And I'm saying this with so much conviction because I'm living it every day. You know, I'm living it so strongly. Like I wish I couldn't write a book about how serious this is, about how much, you know, or our words precedes us, you know. And I know a lot of time people say, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, then I'm rich. Why am I still broke? You know, but it's true because you have to have your heart in it. And that's why it's not just words, it's faith. And I want to purposely use that word, have faith in yourself. And faith is just belief, you know. It's the words, it's the thoughts, but it's really believing. You know, you can say something and not have faith in it, but you can't have faith in some. You know, when you have faith in something, that's it. Even if you don't say it, guess what? It's there. So you gotta have faith in yourself. You gotta have faith in yourself, and don't let your fear. Yes. That's that.
Oh man, that's that. And my God, it's such a powerhouse of words, man. Wow. Like, really left me all the feels. Tremendous. Erika, I really can't thank you enough. Really, it's been a gem of a conversation. It's been a terrific time. Again, I've said it before. Likewise. Off the air, but I truly do believe that time is the one resource and most precious resource that we have. So thank you for sharing this time with us. Here on the Awaken the Awesome podcast. It's a real privilege to be able to share your vision and your perspective onto this wonderful world, life that we share. And, you know, your vision is a really singular one, and I want to celebrate you for it. It's a terrific mission you're doing.
Thank you so much, Olivier, for having me. Thank you so much for really sharing that moment and giving me that platform to share. It was an awesome time.
Shameless plugging time. Where can the listeners connect with you on the interwebs?
Yes, well, they can connect with us on Instagram and Facebook. It's Haiti's Corner in one word. That's HAITISCORNER. So it's one word, Haiti's Corner. And it's pretty much the same thing for every platform we're present in. They can follow us on LinkedIn, definitely. There's a lot of content here that we don't place anywhere else, like our the interviews that we've had, these are on LinkedIn, so they can also contact with us. Let's see, I said Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and just, I think I've covered it. Yeah.
No problem. Don't worry about it. I'll be sure to give you all the recognition and all the presences and the link ups on the blog post once it goes live, my dear. Don't worry about it. As always, as you know, this open invite, man, because this was such a gem. Anytime you want to be back, just to follow up with the recent happenings of AD's Corner. Anytime you want to be back, open invitation. It's always a pleasure to have you on.
That would be awesome. Thank you so much, Olivier. Thank you for supporting me. You're talking about how much I supported you, but man, oh man, you have been such an amazing, you've no idea, like out of nowhere. Hey, Erika, how's it going? And I'm like, oh my God, things are great. So this is what's happening. This is what, and I just get going.
It's genuine. It is very genuine.
You really supported me, and it felt great seeing that somebody actually cares and, you know, and routing for me, you know, and it's like a total stranger, you know, that I'm happy to, today I feel like I've gained a friend, you know, and
it's very genuine. It's very genuine, and it's no love lost, because it's definitely something that I truly support, something that I truly believe in, because I believe, again, we need to hold hands and actually walk this path together. So any which way I can help, you always have me in your corner. Don't worry about it. That's truly sincere.
Thank you so much. Likewise.
Guys, this has been another episode of the Awaken the Awesome podcast. You can find, don't worry, again, all of Erika's presences for Haiti's Corner will be available on the blog post once it goes live. As always, thanks so much for all your support, guys. Do like us on iTunes, LinkedIn, Apple Podcasts, all the platforms. I've made a lot of effort to make this available for you pretty much everywhere. So, guys, just click subscribe. Give me a couple of stars. I appreciate it. And again, the comments, really appreciate it. I read everything. As you can see, I also make a lot of friends. So, guys, stay safe. As always, thanks so much for tuning in. Stay blessed, stay resilient, stay loved. As always do, stay awesome. See you next time. This has been another episode of the Awaken the Awesome podcast. We always love to get your feedback, so please do drop us a line via Instagram, Facebook, or email. Our email address, awakentheawesome@gmail.com. Do visit our official website at awakentheawesome.ca, where you can find our entire back catalog of episodes and incredible guests. Also, if you haven't already, please hop on over to Apple Podcasts and subscribe, give us a rating, and leave us a review, as this helps us tremendously in growing this podcast and spreading the word to more awesome listeners like you. We always appreciate your support, and thank you for listening. Stay awesome.